Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, let's try to understand some sculpting basics in ZBrush. So I would like to first take you through, the polygon and its simple basic things. So let's say if I have this model here, okay, and this model is basically made up of something called polygons, okay. So if you could able to see a black color, outline around each and every patch of face is a polygon. So I would like to talk about that first. So a mesh is made up of small faces called polygons, and the collection of polygons put together is a polygonal mesh. It looks very much like mosaic tile sculpture. So I would like to go to the new document to talk a bit about the polygons and all other concepts related to the sculpting here. So let's say if I have got the face model you saw, has got something like I'm just using the canvas, and then I took a paint brush. So to understand the polygon is made with a surface, okay, a surface again which is surrounded by, okay, this is a polygon. Polygon can be called when it is surrounded by the straight line. So straight line, again, when you connect 2 points with something like this or something like this. So this is straight line, okay. So when you have a face which is bound by straight lines, and it should be preferably a closed surface, because sometimes it can be an open one also. So a polygon will have n number of line segments, for example. So a polygon can have 3 sides, a polygon can have 4 sides, sometimes it can have 5 sides or 6 sides, and it can have 100 sides or 1000 sides. There's no limit in that. So when we are modeling something, we preferably look for a 4-sided face, which is called as quad. And most of our 3D model is made with triangles most of the times, okay. Whatever model you have, it's basically divided into triangles like that. So triangle is the elementary geometrical face actually. So when we have this model, okay, you should able to see this model has got a face, and all that faces are in and around. Sometimes even we may see a triangle, or even we may see a 5-sided face there. So when we are sculpting a 3D model, that model is made with that, okay. How this model looks like, it should look like a mosaic tile sculpture, okay. Okay, these are few examples of mosaic tile sculptures, okay. So if you could see, these bits and pieces are basically polygons, and as I told you, the polygon is made with straight lines only, and it can have any number of sides. But a decent model in 3D softwares will have that model built with only 4-sided faces. That is the recommended way of building your asset. Sometimes you may end up seeing triangles also. Now if I have to model a high frequency detail, or achieve a high frequency detail, let's say this eyelid is thin, it can't be achieved with a bigger face. So I need a smaller face to get that thickness, okay. So smaller faces when we use to complete a model, we need more number of polygons there. So we have this divide option, we just divide it, and the polygons are divided, and one polygon turns into 4 polygons. Let me just show you how it works. So I'm taking a new document here, and then when you got one polygon subdivided, it divides like this. So one in U direction and another one in the V direction. So one face becomes 4 faces. Now when you divide it for the second time, so this face again divides like that, and that 4 face turns to 16 face, and you divide it once again, it turns to 64, which keeps on multiplying by 4, okay. 4 into 4 is 16, 16 4s 64, and so on. So when we have this model with us, okay, so if I am using a sculpt tool and I want to sculpt a very thin crease or skin fold on the model, I should able to see I'm not getting that result. And the reason is the polygons are bigger than the detail I'm expecting here. So we go here and then we divide it. Okay, so we keep dividing it until the polygon becomes smaller than our expected detail there. Okay, so if I'm just sculpting it out, I could see that polygons are breaking. That tells that the polygons are bigger than my detail which I'm expecting. So I need to keep dividing it, and then there should be some improvement. So I'm dividing it one more time, and you should be able to see this is much clean line in comparison with what I've got at the subdivision level 1 or 2 or 3. Now you should be able to see at 3 I'm not getting clear line there. Okay, because the line thickness is actually the face is actually thicker than the face is bigger than the thickness of the line I'm expecting. I can go even small and then I can get that thin line, but as I told, I need the polygon face to be as small as possible. But when I make a polygon as small as the hairline, it is going to add more polygons, like 13 million polygons or 1 crore 30 lakh polygons here, which is very high in terms of rendering or 3D asset is concerned. ZBrush only can handle at this level, and when you start exporting this into any rendering software, it takes ages to render this model. Okay, now let me just try to understand the sculpting tool. So we have different types of brushes. Not all are sculpting. You have masking brushes, you got IMM brushes, groom brushes, etc. So defaultly your ZBrush keeps a standard brush. So standard brush, here I can just click and drag like that. As you could see, when I'm clicking and dragging, I could see the geometry is coming out. We have a Z add here because of the polygons are pushed out. When I put this to Z subtract, the polygons go inside like that. So you have when you are using the Z add, okay, if you hold Alt, you get Z subtract. Okay, as you are in Z add, you click and drag, you got Z add, but if you hold Alt, it gives a subtraction. Same thing works when you are in Z subtract, you're getting the subtraction, but if you hold Alt, it gives addition to you. Okay, that's how it works. Now if I right click, you'll get a menu which also keeps these two options, Z add and Z subtract, for your brushes. Okay, where you can control them if you're finding hard to pick this Z add or Z subtract thing. And we have a few of the options like a draw size. Okay, so draw size is a slider or a numerical value which I can enter and then control the size of the brush there. So let's say if I have to increase or decrease the brush size, I can use that slider, or I can do the right click and then control the draw size here. You can also press S on the keyboard and then drag the slider and increase the brush size or decrease the brush size like that. Okay, so you can use open and close brackets to increase the brush size or decrease the brush size, just like Photoshop. Okay, so you have all these ways to control the size of the brush. Okay, you have undo history. I can click anywhere in the undo history just to go back. We have intensity. Right now the intensity is let me put the draw size to 12, and you got this stroke with intensity of 25. Let me put a value of 10, and then let me put a value of 40, then maybe 60, then 80, 100. So you should be able to see the strokes are quite different here. Okay, the intensities keep increasing as you increase the intensity value. You can do that just by right clicking here, Z intensity, and also you can press U, and then you get the slider in the hand. You can control that, or you can enter the numerics, just put 25 and then you get this result. So as I told, I can go back to the history anytime. You have focal shift. Focal shift is the brush hardness. So you got a soft stroke, but when you put the focal shift value to 0, you get a hard brush like that. So you can keep playing with the focal shift value, and then you get more softer brushes like that. Okay, you can press O on the keyboard and then you can control the focal shift, or you can do the right click and do the same thing. for controlling the focal shift. So this features what I'm right now using will work for all other sculpting brushes also, which works in a similar way. Right now we have the Z add and Z subtract. I can switch off that and there is no sculpting happening here. However, I can select RGB and then I can choose the color. Okay, but before going into that, I just put this white and then I go to the option called poly paint and colorize, and then choose a color, and then when I paint it I get the green color. And I'm getting this green color because this is right now RGB enabled. Let's say if I put this off, you don't get the paint. When you put this on, and then also you have the opacity to control the RGB intensity, which can greatly help in poly painting. Okay, like that. You have M, which is basically stands for material. Let's say if I choose a gold, and I'll go to the let me just pick the basic material, go to colorize, and then just fill the object, and then change the material to the gold. And then when I paint, I also can assign gold material to the faces just by painting them on the model. Okay, let's say if I go down to the subdivision level, I can just paint it like that. Okay, we can now just divide and it assigns to that selected faces. So if you enable mRGB, which also does the coloring as well as the painting at the same time. So you have all these options here in terms of sculpting, and these basics stand same for all other sculpting tools which work similarly like that. Okay,